finals. Scrolling down, Miyamaika checked in, he signed up, but he didn't show, so Miyamaika was another walkover. I would have loved to have casted and loved to have embraced some Miyamaika action, but alas, that did not occur. Likewise, Gref also didn't show either. Gref, the Ukrainian Protoss cannon rusher. So because of some of these walkovers, that's why we had a delayed start, but now that we've begun, there's no stopping. There's no stopping Pappy. Spawning in the top right hand corner of Post Youth, we have our red Zerg player representing Starlight Twinkle. It is Wayne. And spawning in the bottom left, we have as opponent, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. Let us go. Again, Wayne and Nicoract, I would say, looking at the bracket, the strongest Zerg player up against, I would say the strongest Terran as well. You could maybe make an argument for Honmono. I do think that Nicoract and Honmono are comparable, I would say, but they're also very different players. So it's kind of hard. It's hard to judge just because Honmono is an animal and Nicoract is a little more standard. So it is a little bit hard to judge as, it's going to be a 2x Reaper opener out of Nicoract. But yeah, I would say kind of the strongest Zerg player and the one of the Terran representatives here, typical Terran representatives in Sparkling Tuna Cup facing up. It is a bit of a shame. You know, I would love to see Nicoract and Wayne spread out so that we could have less PvP potential, you know, to stop the Protosses. But the reality is the Sparkling Tuna Cup, you know, is also a Sparkling Protoss Cup in a way, because there's a lot of PvPs in this tournament. Typically, a lot of PvPs. Oh no. not like this, Pappy, not like this. For now, we're settling in. We are settling in. It's going to be a hatch gas pool opener here out of Wayne, going for the pocket base. We have loaded into Post Youth, of course. Meanwhile, Nicoract is going at 2x Reaper. Going to be massing up Reapers across the map. Going to be sending it, Pappy, and ideally hoping to contain and delay the natural. Now, there's a bit of a give and take here. I don't know how I feel about this this build from Nicoract on this map. We will delay the third, and we will contain Wayne to 2 bases. I mean, sure, that's nice, but this 2-base setup has gold minerals, so we're actually not in a bad position. Like, as opposed to we would be on a different map like Oceanborn, for example, or Golden Aura. Golden Aura you wouldn't really do this build on, to be fair, from Nicoract, but again, like, this opener is achieving a little bit less just because of how valuable the natural base is on this map specifically. Reapers, they do get a drone kill though. They get 2 drone. Oh my god, that should not have happened. We get 2 drone kills and we delay the 3rd base. Nicoract getting a lot done. Behind this, going 3cc before factory, 3cc before starport. Very economic follow-up here. And again, Wayne is still denied his 3rd. So far, so good. Just denying the 3rd base, I don't think would have been enough, but killing 2 drones is kind of a big selling point here for Nicoract for this build. Now, again, the goal is just to contain, delay for as long as we can, as much as possible. The drone is in the back line. We're hoping to expand. We take down the tumor. Not bad. Tumor does fall, and once again, we delay the 3rd. Delaying as long as we can. Finally, Wayne can expand. Finally, he can take the hatchery. Lings are moving out. Ling speed is done. And the Reapers, they bypass the Queens. And we couldn't even get back into the main. The problem is we don't know where the Lings are. Yeah, the Lings, they come back. They go for the surround. They at least attempt to. Very nice positioning here from Nicoract, but there's no way out of this. Gonna try to escape, but is gonna be shut down by the Lings. And here it comes, a pseudo surround. Yeah, we shut down the army. We clean up the Reapers. Not a bad defense overall by Wayne, but he lost 3 drones. His expansion was delayed. Like, this, I would say, was a better start for Nicoract. And in the aftermath, we're getting into a 3cc 211. What this builds up towards is a medevac timing. I should say a stim timing. Stim timing with 16 Marines and 2 medevacs. The reactor is almost done. We're going for an add-on swap here between the factory and starport. Medevac production will begin, and once the medevacs are out, once stim is done, we can move out. We can be active on the map with drop play. The downside of this build that we're going for is no Hellions, right? There's no Hellions, so there's no harassment to get into mineral lines and to pick away at these workers. At the same time, because of the map layout, we can't really harass the natural anyway, and the third base was already delayed, so yeah, there's that kind of give and take here, and again, the Hellions aren't as required in this game state anymore. The downside is that we can't quite deny creep. Like, usually we would have Hellions to keep the creep in check. Alas, that won't be a thing, that won't be a factor, and Wayne can spread creep a little more freely at this point. Meanwhile, it's going to be a safe follow-up. We're going for a lair into a Baneling nest, so it's going to be Ling Bane and a Wayne. Prioritizing Baneling speed. This could even be the beginnings of Muta play. Like, we have the option right now to throw down 2 Evo Chambers or additional gases for a Spire. We'll see what we go for. As our double drop is moving out across the map, Stim is done. And can we catch a queen? Up! Goshen's fuse. 1 queen does go down. Where are the lings? Without the lings, we can just focus on the queens one after the other. 3 queens fall. And can we get the base? We can. A very successful push here from Nicoract. We made our choice. Double Evo. Double Evo Chambers. No tech of choice yet. So it's just going to be straight up Ling Bane here at a Wayne. Delayed 1-1 upgrades. But the Lings were not quite in position, and how many queens was that? 3 queens and a cancel on the 4th. Very well worth it for Nicoract. Now, as amazing as this drop has been so far, and it's been good, it's been a very good drop, the reality is, this gold base will make up for it. The fact that Wayne is taking the gold as his 4th will help recover some earlier losses and make up for the rougher start that we've had. So even though it's been a strong start for Nicoract, there's still a lot of pressure on him to get more damage done, to maintain map control and to trade and to try to be as efficient as possible because of this gold. And here we go, moving out with another double drop. Nicoract setting up a split push. He's moving out. Steaming on forward, catching a queen, catching 2 queens. Queen's out of position, off of creep. Rough losses for Wayne, and it's snowballing out of control. We get 4 queens. 4 queens in total. Drop in between the bases. The Banelings, they get targeted down. Without Lings, Banelings, they need that support. And because we lost so many queens, where's the creep? Where is the creep? We have how many queens? 5 queens in between 4 bases. We have no creeping queens. We have 1 queen to spread creep. And the creep is receding. And that means that the eventual tank push is going to hit like a truck. Like, these tanks that we're building up back at home, they're going to hit so hard. If there's no map presence, if there's no map vision, if there's no creep. We do have 4 active tumors here towards the center. No active, or 1 active tumor towards the, in between these bases on the left-hand side. This area is looking vulnerable. Well, this entire area here moving on towards the left. At the same time, job's still being active. We get into the main base. 4 drones go down. 5 drones. 6. Oh my god. 6 workers full. Wayne is getting into Ling Bane Hydra. Ooh, some Banelings will connect. So bringing everything together here. The job's still being active. Nicoract pulling back. And here comes the push that we were talking about. This is what we have been building up. The tank push. 3 tanks mass buy. Now, thankfully, the creep has been okay outside the gold. It is going to buy some time. And we need to respond. We do need to respond here. But I don't think there's enough Ling Bane. Yeah, the Banelings, they get shut down. We take down a tank, 2 tanks even. What about the Bio? What about the Marines? What about the man with gun? We can stim and we can win. Wayne, he's in a lot of trouble. He's going to try to break out of this. Oh my god! These are massive connections. No split, no spread. Bit of a slip over there by Nicoract, and Wayne does take advantage of him. Some big Baneling connections. The connections he desperately needed as Nicoract was focusing on his drop. And we're holding. Thanks to those connections, we are holding on. Wayne, he's surviving. Full medevac. Oh my god. The medevacs are getting quite low. Wayne has to back up, getting into his upgrades, +1 range, +2 carapace, Hydra speed. Wayne is surviving, and hey, remember, he has the gold. Catching straight medevacs. We're still lacking Ling Bane. Yeah, we're lacking a lot of Ling Bane here. As Nicoract, he just doesn't let up the pressure. Doesn't hold back. And even though it was very impressive that Wayne survived up until this point, he's still behind. Like, Nicoract still has momentum on his side. Wayne attempting to expand elsewhere, taking another base. But this position is brutal. And as long as Nicoract does pre-spread or pre-split, like, the Lingbane cannot engage. Wayne going for a desperation counterattack. Trying to pull back the attention of Nicoract. Marine stepping forward. Catching Hydras. And Lings will hit the third. Getting quite an amount of SCVs. 6 SCVs go down. Because of all those Lings. We are pushing forward. Wayne setting up a surround, but again, I just don't think he has the numbers. And not enough Lings, not enough support. The Banelings, they get shut down, and we can stim on forward on top of the Hydras, and this time, the army won't be stopped. And GG gets called, and Nicoract snowballs out of control, takes game number 1. Whew. GG. Very strong showing there by Nicoract. There was these kind of these small advantages early on that really added up there for Nicoract, catching, what was it, 4 queens early on. We got 4 queen kills, which meant that there was barely any creep to work with. We were getting drone kills left and right as well, and very efficient trades against the Lingbane because of the lack of creep, because of the lack of queens. It all just piled up. It all just piled up there in favor of the Terran, and Nicoract takes the win. Does take game 1, but I want to believe we can bounce back. I want to believe that we can have a back and forth and have an ace match. I want to believe we can go the distance. We'll see if that's the case here as we're loading into game 2 on Ghost River. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Ghost River, we have our Red Zerg player. Our Red Zerg representing Starlight Twinkle down in the series. Can we bounce back? It is Wayne. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the blue Terran player representing the Platinum Heroes. It is Nicoract. Leading the series 1-0. Does have the advantage, 1 more win, and he will advance on into next round. Meanwhile, Wayne, the pressure is on. Pressure is on our Zerg player here to try to make a series out of this, as we are going for a gas first. Okay, you have my attention. You have my attention. It's going to be a gas pool opener here from Wayne. Now, this could be the beginnings of a Bane bust. This could just be for a Ling Flood, or this could be for a fast Roach War. There are different forms of aggression that this could take, and we'll see what we decide on. Back at home, Nicoract going for a Rax Expand. Standard opener this time. There is no 2-rack setup. So, we're not going to be as assertive as we were in that first game. Catching up in the chat. Oh yeah, I was hearing about the heat wave that was going on in Europa. It's getting hot, man. It's getting hot. Take care, everyone. Take care. On the flip side, it's very cold here. I've been hearing about how like it's been quite hot in other areas of the world, and it's freezing here in Australia. It's very cold. So I don't know if you noticed. I'm actually wearing clothes. I actually have like a robe on top of my shirt here as you know, I have to make up for my lack of pants. Kappa. Aye. That's been quite cold. I've been sleeping with socks because my feet are freezing at night. I mean, like an animal. And we were talking about that early gas before, and there it is. Ling speed is on the way. Now we have pulled out of gas, so it's going to be fast Ling speed, no Banelings, no Roaches, and the Lings are going to be skirting around the edge, hoping to avoid the main scouting pattern, the main scouting path even. Nicoract does get across, does recognize how late the hatchery is, and Nicoract will be dipping into the main. Looks like he wants to confirm whether or not we're mining gas. He does get eyes on the Lings. He's aware of the Lings. He's aware of the potential here of damage. We get the CC just barely done, and we should be able to lift up just in time. Lings have arrived, but there's nothing to kill. There's no SCVs, and the wall is solid. So a nice defense here by Nicoract. More Lings of moving out, more Lings of flooding. But we should be able to defend. All we have to do is buy time for the Hellions and we should be fine. Meanwhile, Wayne is droning. And Wayne is in a rough position, I would say. Like, we invested quite heavily into an earlier gas, earlier pool, delayed hatchery, invested into all these Lings. And so far, it hasn't been worth it. So far, we haven't gotten many kills. I like our setup here, though. It looks like we're trying to catch out the Hellions, ideally, and then get economic damage done. There's potential. And we do dive in. We go for the dive, we get one, we get two SCVs, and we do not quite make it into the main. The Hellion kiting is just a little bit too good. 2 SCV kills, that's okay. That's a nice bit of damage dealt here, damage that we needed to do, but ideally we wanted more. And now Nicoract has defended. Hellions move out. Behind this, we're getting into a 1-1-1. Very safe and very, I mean, I say safe initially, but also an aggressive build here by Nicoract. I'm pretty sure we delayed the 3rd CC because of the build of Wayne. So Nicoract was playing very safe and responding in kind. And with this, that means that he can turn this defense into an offense. Banshee's already on the way, and this is going to be ideal against the eventual Roach play of Wayne. Roach Warren has been thrown down. Banshee's already moving out. We're going to harass. Likewise, so those Hellions. So now Wayne has to take a more defensive stance instead. Back at home, we have the Lair on the way. Additional Spore Crawlers help defend against the Banshees. We're getting ready. Gotta grow the cake before we share it. True. Give us some cake. Gift. As of now, we're settling in. We are going to be settling in. Hellions likewise going to be poking in. And they will be able to shave off some HP on these queens. The Banshee likewise going to go for them as well. We have Spore Crawlers in position in each of these mineral lines, so the mineral lines are safe and sound. The drones should not be going down. But the queens, you have to respect the Banshees. Oh! Yeah, for now, just focusing on creep tumors. And won't be able to keep up. Ooh, one Banshee goes down. Big overextension by Nicoract. Again, he did fly too close to the sun. Did get burned. Hellions are still being active, going for the queens, going for the tumor even. Meanwhile, that's an infestation bit on the way. Okay, Wayne, you have my attention. I'm curious if this is just going to be for fast hive tech, or if we spice things up and do something crazy. I'm curious. When I say crazy, I'm referring to something crazy like Swarm Host play. If this was Cham, I'd be like, yo, Papi, show us the Swarm Host. Wayne, okay, he cancels. Looks like he was a little bit concerned it was going to be mech, but alas, that is not the case. It is going to be bio tank, and we think better of going into a fast hive or into something a little bit different. Okay, she's still being active. Aliens rotating around. Once again, catching another tumor. Very nicely done here by Nicoract. Banshees, they hit the natural. 2 drones go down. Nicoract pulling back, and he's again building up his bio army behind this. No 3rd CC. Okay, so my apologies. I just assumed that we would have one by now, but yeah, there is no 3rd base. We're very committed here on 2 bases. Nicoract building up quite an army, and what do we have to defend? We have 9 roaches, 4 ravagers, we have lings, no banelings. 1-1 is a ways off. The upgrades here are not going to be finishing in time, and here we go. Nicoract, he's pushing in. And it's very crisp. 1-1 just finished off with the Terran. Yeah, massive push. Biles, will they connect? Ooh, they take down a tank. Not bad. 1 tank goes down. But the Rings, they stim on forward. Only 1 tank left. The Biles. Ooh, this time they won't quite connect. 2nd tank does fall. It's just the bio army. But Nicoract, he's trading well. He takes down all the roaches, takes down the ravagers, the queens, the Biles. Ooh, the Biles, they take down the medevacs. The Biles have been brutal, but it looks like Nicoract, he does it anyway. He breaks through, working towards the mineral line. Drones are falling, reinforcements are working up, but just to be knocked down. Nicoract still rallying across the map. Oh, he's barely being cleaned up. Again, this push was a little bit careless from Nicoract. Again, he lost a tank to the Biles. He lost Medevac to the Biles. But Nicoract, he also knows how close he is to just breaking Wayne and killing him. Now we get a third CC on location, very late third. This was basically a borderline all-in from Nicoract, just because our third base is so heavily delayed. But Wayne, he lives. He survives. We're droning. We're massing out more Roach Ravager. 1-1 is finishing, getting into +2. We can see Nicoract, he's rotating over to shut down a fourth, but there is no fourth. And I'm sure he's content about that. He's like, hold up, you're on an even base count with me, or soon to be an even base count? Okay. I can live with that. There we go. Fourth now being thrown down. Wayne coming back in. We do get a Ravager. We get 2. Nicoract able to catch 2 Ravagers, pulling back. Likewise, back at home. Getting into the rest of his Raxes. 2-2 is on the way. We have a game. We have a game on our hands. I was concerned that earlier Nicoract would end it, and he could have, definitely. I do think that Wayne barely held on earlier against the aggression of Nicoract. Now we have a back and forth. Now we have a game available. We can try to bring this all the way back and look to get that ace match. For now, Hive is on the way. We have Infestation Bit, Hydrogen as well. Safety Infestors. Looks like we're working towards Hydra Lurker Viper. We're working towards that kind of composition. And Nicoract has lost a lot of his pushing power. So the game is going to settle. The game will settle down. Liberators, they rotate up into the main, in towards the fourth base. Oh god. They're taking a lot of hits, a lot of damage. But they have arrived, and there's no Spore here towards the south, so drones are going down. We got 2 drone kills so far. Keeping Wayne busy. There's that Lurker Den, now on the way. Oh! Last the Lurker Den is on the way. Getting ready for this upgrades. Liberator finally goes down. Getting a 3rd drone. Nicoract is building up. Last, we've taken extra gases, so it looks like Nicoract, I mean, we're a little bit too late to hit an ARAX timing, so most likely going to be building up towards a 4th base and a longer, later game. Now, I'm not too sure if Nicoract really wanted that kind of game state. Usually Nicoract thrives in the mid-game, but that window, that door is closing. It's slowly closing here. Nicoract pushing forward. 2-2 about to finish up. Marines are going down. We do get on top of the base. We do force a cancel. Not bad. Force a cancel on the 5th. Big tank volleys go off. Oh, god. Calm down, Wayne. Do lose a chunk of roaches. The lurkers are on the way. Fungal doesn't quite connect. We do have another fungal. There's one more fungal here in the chamber. Don't want to waste it. There we go. The fungal does connect, but we have a massive line of tanks behind this. Tank volley's going to be going up. We're collapsing on top of the lurkers. There aren't enough lurkers. Not enough lurkers. Vipers, what can they support? There's only one lurker to hold the line. One lurker, one dream. Can we hold against the wave of terror? We do yoink a tank. Not bad. Tank is abducted. But Nicoract, he just rallies across the map. He knows how close he is to breaking Wayne once again. We're about to have one more fungal. Still the lone lurker. It gets started down. Additional lurkers have arrived, but it's too little too late. There's no more support. Yeah, lurkers are falling to the tanks. The base will fall as well. And Nicoract, he has broken the 4th. Now he's going for the 3rd. Does overextend. Does rally in a little bit too deep. But the main army is slowly encroaching, sieging up. And again, even though we got to Lurker Tech, we needed more time. Wayne, he needed a little bit more time to build up his support, to build up his lurkers. Alas, he did not have that time. Again, Nicoract hitting just with +2 or with 2-2. As soon as it hit, as soon as it finished up. See Wayne trying to muster up an army, bleeds out his roaches, tank volley's going off with the hydras. And Nicoract, he's still soon to be rallying everything across the map, still maxing out. We're within range of the base. Hatchery's under fire. And Wayne, he's down to 2 hatcheries, down to 2 bases. Cannot keep up, not anymore. Not against Nicoract. Overlord's getting caught out. Yeah, we're going to be able to focus them all down. Oof. Yeah, brutal losses here for Wayne. Wayne desperately going for a counterattack. He does move out. But there's a bunker, there's reinforcements. Nicoract turns around. Again, there's a bit of a desperation move out of Wayne, going for a quote-unquote base trade, but it's only 3 lurkers. Like, it's... there's not that much here. We focus 1 lurker down. There's 2 left. There's 2 lurkers. Then we're down to 1, and now we are down to 0. We lose the entire army. Wayne gets cleaned up across the map. Wayne is holding the line. Wayne is surviving on 2 bases. Let's go. Meanwhile, Nicoract in position to deny the 3rd. Drones are going down as we get Liberators into the natural. And it looks like Nicoract, he floated his main. Did float his main over to expand. To expand at the 4th location. Lings are going to get some damage done. SCVs are falling. It's only a matter of time at this point. GG gets called, and Wayne, Nicoract, he has done it. He takes down Wayne 2-0 and advances on to the next round. GG. GG, well played. Congratulations here. Oh, just realized I have the wrong team name for Wayne. Congratulations to Nicoract for taking the series 2-0 for advancing on into the semifinals, for being one of our first semifinalists. Congratulations. Congratulations. Meanwhile, my condolences to Wayne. He played well for himself. He did, but had a really rough start in game 1. Winding it back, if you remember, in game 1, the 2x Reaper did so much. We got 3 drone kills. We delayed the 3rd quite heavily. It led into the 2-1-1, the 3cc 2-1-1 drop play, which got 4 queens. And the denial on the 4th, like there was just a lot happening early on in game 1, which snowballed out of control. In game number 2 here, we saw that Wayne went for an aggressive build. He went for a gas first. He went gas pull, rush into link speed, and the initial link flood wasn't quite worth it. Likewise, Wayne happened to be going into roach play, whereas his opponent went into a 1-1-1 into banshees, which is ideal against roaches. It means that any kind of roach aggression was rendered almost inert. Like it was just going to be denied and shut down, and the banshees themselves able to just pin Wayne back in preparation for the eventual bio push and bio timing. It was very committed, borderline all in, 2 base all in from Nicoract, and yeah, the aggression just continued. GG, well played. GG, well played.